Welcome to the Big Cat Lounge podcast. I'm your host, Big Cat KZ. Thank you so much for listening in. The Big Cat Lounge is where we interview guests in a casual lounge setting from all over the world. We are on the way to achieving Big Cat International status. New episodes are dropped weekly on all places you listen to podcasts. Please rate and subscribe to help us grow. Welcome to the Big Cat Lounge podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Big Cat KZ, and today's guest comes from the Commonwealth of Virginia. Arash and I go way back to the Virginia Tech Society of Individual Investors days, where there were about 5 people or so that showed up consistently. With more than half a decade of contribution in the field of management and finance and trading, he has a variety of investment strategies which he uses statistical models. He has a noble vision for the betterment of the world, and it can be accomplished through pure and goodly deeds. His most recent work is at the Institute Coordinator, where he coordinated and organized outreach campaigns. We welcome Arash Sadi to the Big Cat Lounge podcast.
Yo, what's up? What's up? Thank you for having me, man. I'm glad to be here. It was a very, very warm welcome. Thank you so much. It's really an honor to be here, and I'm excited to really just chat a little bit. And we haven't caught up for a long time, so it'd be just nice to just catch up.
Likewise, yeah. So tell me a little bit about your time as an institute coordinator, and what type of outreach campaigns are you doing?
Yeah, so it's an interesting program that we did. I actually moved in Lynchburg, south of Virginia, to see if I can help out with the community building process. So this is part of a big community building process that is involved with trying to find individuals who are thinking in a similar way, aligned with the vision of betterment of the world, and trying to contribute to the betterment of the society and their community. And especially youth, because youth have so much energy, so much enthusiasm. Yeah. They want to see the change. They see the change happening, or the need for the change that needs to be done in the society. But the opportunities to think about it systematically, they don't have the plan or the vision. So this is a global program actually that's happening in every cluster, in every city, in every country that you go, over thousands of different programs. Which are systematically being learned in a similar way and shared throughout the world. We're really trying to, in a slow manner, but really in a long-term vision, try to help humanity to, rather than giving them the fish, help themselves to learn how to catch the fishes.
Yeah, and it's through these programs really to have those resources, because a lot of us don't really have that curriculum or know what to do in certain situations. You really need to rely on someone that's done it before you. Yeah. It's not easy to know, right? You have to have a mentor, have someone to follow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's the whole process is in a way that we're all learning together, right? There is no one that has really mastered the plan, and because every cluster, every reality is different, right? The programs are similar, the curriculum are similar, and mostly it's educational level programs that it works with children, junior youths, and adults, and thinking about each of these categories, how can each one of these categories learn what their own essence of who they are as individuals is, and how they can contribute as they grow to do the twofold moral purpose, which is really for the growth of ourselves, to learn about ourselves, as intellectually and spiritually, and also to contribute to the society. And when these two things happen simultaneously, this is where the actual growth happens. And I've listened to a few of your past podcasts, and I've heard that individuals really thinking about, okay, well, I have made the money that I want, or I'm pursuing the things that I want, but how can I live a more purposeful life? How can I contribute to the society? And that what really helps us to become more happier, more in tune with life, and aligned with who we are as individuals. You know, Einstein, when they asked him one time, I think he said, they asked him what was the purpose of life, and he said he pretty much didn't know, but he said one thing is he's sure of, that we were created to help one another, to serve one another, and that's the idea behind these programs. And they're really inspired by the Bahá'í Faith, which I'm not sure if your viewers know about the Bahá'í Faith and how
No,
much
I doubt it. I doubt most people. I don't know, probably.
Oh, yeah. So the Bahá'í Faith is really a newest religion, independent religion in the world that was established about 180 years ago in Persia, where there was a lot of extremists and a lot of things happening. It was really the lowest point of Persian Empire in that time. And Baha'u'llah, the founder of the Bahá'í Faith, which means the glory of God, you know, announced himself as the manifestation of God, which we really see all the manifestations of God, like Buddha, Jesus, Moses, Muhammad, all of them as one, right? So the vision of the Bahá'í Faith is really the oneness of humanity, the essence of that all religions are one, that there is only one God, and all of us come from the same place, and we're going to the same place, and really try to unify mankind through a few different concepts, like the oneness of mankind, as I said, equality between men and women, harmony between religion and science, that universal education should be mandatory for all humanity, that we need a common language for us to be more unified, that we really need to think about an investigation of truth, that we don't need to be conformed to, you know, ideologies just because our forefathers and other people have said so. You know, we need to investigate for ourselves, and so on and so forth. You know, like for instance, poverty and extreme riches now is one of the topics. And Baha'u'llah 200 years ago, he mentioned that this needs to be something that humanity has to go through and understand it and bring this gap together in order for humanity to become unified.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think now there's through the pandemic, it's the need for human interaction, right? Barriers are lifted. Everyone has to interact regardless, right? You have to be more transparent. It's not necessarily a face-to-face conversation anymore. So all of that goes out the window.
Yeah. The pandemic has been really interesting, you know. It's in some ways it has brought people together or realized that we need each other, but at the same time there has been a little bit of gap for people. So perhaps it's a awakening for all of us.
Yeah,
as
it really
humanity.
is. It really is. I mean, you got the way each country, and then in the U.S., it's the way each state has treated the virus. Way different. It's a whole different ball game. It's so unique the way it's set up.
Yeah, and I was wondering, you know, I was talking to an individual the other day, and he was really describing to me how we can see the inequality between the different countries, and where, for instance, America, US has a lot of money and they were able to vaccinate everyone, right?
Yeah.
Where at the same time now we're really, you know, without masks everywhere. And in India, people are really dying at, you know, multitudes. So all of these things, you know, as humanity, these are our brothers and sisters that we have to think about. And how can we live in a world in the future for our children that they're able to really to see it, that it's not, the borders does not mean that they're different, you know, that they should be treated differently. And we'll find a solution slowly, hopefully.
Yeah, we will. I mean, all of us will. I mean, through our connections, through our interactions with people's mindsets will change. Today's sponsor is Anchor FM app. Go download the free Anchor app today to get started. You can find it at your Play Store or App Store. It's everything you need to make a podcast, and it distributes everything for you so it can be heard on multiple platforms such as Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, and many more. This is what I'm currently using right now to edit and record my podcast, and you can do so from your phone or computer. And the tools are really easy to use to help document the Big Cat Lounge journey. So what are you waiting for? Go today and download it. You're an operations manager, right, for a couple of years at the site. So you got to really see a lot of people, right? So many people come there in a given time, and then you coordinated a lot of events.
Yeah, man, that experience is just something else. If you remember, me and you, we go back when we were in tech together. I was really thinking about more materialistic things, and I think I even made a bet with you. I was like, let's make a bet that who's gonna become the first millionaire, if you remember. But I think life kind of, for me, changed in a way that I didn't even expect it. So I decided to go and volunteer overseas. And I started with a regular security guard there in Bahá'í World Center, which is the central place for the spiritual and administrative world order of the Bahá'í Faith. If you see the pictures, I don't know if you've seen the pictures, Kyle. It's amazing. You put there's this mountain. It's called the Carmel Mountain, which there is about over 2,000 to 5,000 every day people, tourists from all around the world. They come to see this garden. And I was promoted later on as an operation manager in the mountain, to overlook over 50 individuals who were guards. And what's interesting about that place is you really interact with 80 different cultures at the same time, because volunteers from different cultures, they come. And as different cultures, they have their own ritual, they have their own customs. Yeah. And to learn how to interact with them. And of course, everyone is a volunteer there and really enjoying the time. So if for the listeners, whoever gets the time at any point to be able to dedicate some time, whether here, or overseas, to do some sort of service, man, you for instance, I thought about, maybe I spent 2 years there. I'm wasting 2 years of my life, but rather you gain 10 years, in all different aspects. And the amount of friends that I have now, I have all around the world, from Africa to China to Australia to New Zealand to anywhere, Latin America. Anywhere I go, I have someone, I can call and go and visit, which is
it's
cool.
really through those experiences, right? It really is. I mean, it's one of those things, like money can't buy you those experiences. You can't really have that all the time. You're not going to get those interactions.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, it's one of those memories that always stays with me. So I often reflect back, and hopefully I get a chance again to go back. And I might have the opportunity this winter, so we'll see. We'll see. Yeah.
You got to take it when you can, right? You really got to.
Yeah.
It presents itself. I mean,
exactly.
You got to, right? You're able to maximize your time when you're there. You have a purpose. You're pretty intentional when you're going there, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
This brings us to our quote section. Comfort is a drug. Once you get used to it, it becomes addicting. Give a weak man consistent sex, good food, cheap entertainment, and he'll throw his ambitions right out the window. The comfort zone is where dreams go to die. So that's the thing. A lot of us are like, we're just positioned, let's do the traditional mindset. Let's just do the 9 to 5. Let's just do what people told me to do. But at the end of the day, like, you have to break it down. Is that really what you want to do? Is that really worth it for you and your future and your legacy? I don't know. You have to break it down, because at any time that one source can be taken away from you. So you really have to think about it. Can't be comfortable.
Yeah, and I think, as you mentioned, life is really, it's all about these moments, whether it's lifetime opportunities or even day-to-day moments that we have.
Yeah.
Like for instance, I continuously forget how valuable time and the things that we have in every moment is. And are you familiar with Eckhart Tolle famous writing, Awakening Your Life Purpose in New Earth?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I read it a few times, and it really talks about the present moment, that each moment that we live really is the most precious, and of course, which is a practice of many traditional religions of the past. And um, but it's one of those writings that really influenced me through my own experience, and to be able to perceive life in every day in a new light, and really break that comfort zone. It's easy to fall into that trap, but we'll try to grow as much as we can.
Yeah, you do. You really do. So it looks like you were able to get your MBA. Were you able to pursue that, or your master's in business administration?
Yeah, right now I am actually. I'm pursuing it. I'm 1 year down.
Okay.
Got one more year to go. At the same time, I'm looking for a job, and try to see. That's why I moved to Northern Virginia now,
Oh, okay.
to see if I can find an opportunity here while I finish the school, uh, to see how I can find a balance between all of this, uh, which is which is a challenge itself. Always struggling to find that balance.
That is true, but when you're positioning yourself in Northern Virginia, you're giving yourself so much more opportunity because there's a lot
Yeah.
of nonprofits there. There is a lot of opportunity for you to even like be aligned with some of their missions and some of their,
Mm-hmm.
so what they represent. Because
Right.
sometimes if you're working for something that you don't believe in, then you're not going to really be motivated or put in your all,
Certainly.
right? So that's
Yeah.
another thing. So you got to be focused too. So you got to take the right thing when it comes. You'll
Mm-hmm.
be ready.
Yeah. No, certainly.
Do you know exactly like is it specialized program within the MBA, or do you know?
No, it's general. Right now, it's general. The story of it is actually, I tell you, this one is, the confirmation of God, where you really. I was thinking of going back to school for about a year, but I
Yeah.
wasn't sure till like, I think it was during the same time as now. No, maybe a month, 2 months later. Well, I was talking to a friend, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go to school, and you should apply too." I was like, "No, I don't want to apply because I haven't really studied for the entry exam." She was like, "You don't have to take the entry exam." I was like, "How
Yeah.
come?" She was like, "It's pandemic, man." I was like, "Great." I applied. It was already beyond the expiration date of when I could apply for the
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
Um, and they got my application, and they said, yeah, they did the interview, and she was like, "Yeah, you're a great fit. Let's do
Wow.
it."
That's amazing. Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
the perfect timing, right? Like,
yeah.
when else would this be perfectly aligned for you? Because you're like,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna really do it, and then
Yeah,
you
yeah.
came right through.
It just sometimes gifts like that, come through your way,
Hmm.
and just have to be open to it.
Yeah, you really do. So did you know on this date, in July 6th, 2016, Pokemon Go was released?
Oh, it was.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? That was the real world mobile game. It's
Yeah.
crazy how people are addicted to it, how the youth was addicted to it so much, they'd go everywhere, just
The
looking around,
stories, yeah.
catch them all.
Yeah. I remember stories where people go to other people's home and trying to find the Pokemon, and yeah.
Do you find that like a lot of the youth that you've interacted with, they're pretty much attached to their phones, right? It's kind of difficult to get people away.
Yeah. It is, this day and age that we're living in. Um, not only cell phones, and but rather everything that we have, is based off of immediate pleasure, immediate joy, yeah, immediate happiness, and we're distracted by so many different pleasures, uh, which is really help us to really uh, live a happier or live a comfortable life, but also it has become a barrier for us as well, and to pursue more fundamental, more profound things in life. So yeah, it is cell phone, even myself.
Yeah.
So I'm part of society, and I find myself at times very much distracted by the phone, uh, which pandemic didn't help as well. So, like for instance, my niece was born, and the only way to interact with us was through the phone. And I remember when she was like 6 months years old, so I visited her, and she she had difficulty recognizing. She would see my face, but then she would go to the cell phone, because that's the only way she was able to
Yeah.
understand the interaction. So, but
Yeah.
hopefully she won't get too much of cell phone usage anymore.
Hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be difficult. It really is. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, as I'm sure as parents, it must be like very, very difficult, because it's like, oh, you want to have your time, so then you give the child the device, and then,
Yeah.
okay, you'll come back. But it's I don't know. It's really, it's one of those balances you have to figure
Yeah.
out. Is it worth
Yeah.
going into?
Yeah. It is. It is.
Yeah. So tell me, what does the future have to have in store? The next 5 years, what's the vision have for Arash?
Oh, next 5 years. That's a long vision, my friend. I'll take it one day at a time. But I think for the next year is more clear for me, which is to finish my school and get a job, and um, in a business analyst, business financial analyst, something like that.
Mhm.
And within that year, try to accumulate as much money as I can, uh, to perhaps invest in some, if the market drops. I'm looking for that 30-40% drop, to invest some money, and then I don't know, after 1 year, hopefully I'm looking, hopefully I'll find some companion by then as well. uh, I think I'm hitting the age where my parents are pushing me to, Middle Eastern parents. It's like you hit 30, they're like, it's time.
Yeah, and then
So,
now during the pandemic, they've had more and more time to think about it,
oh,
through, have stories, talk to friends
yeah,
and family.
yeah, so on and so on get married. What do you think?
Anything else you want to let the Big Cat Lounge community know?
I think I appreciate all the friends that what they have contributed to this. Thank you, Kyle, for making it happen. You're contributing to the betterment and getting to know the friends at a deeper level, and sharing your insight and other people's insight. It's really helpful. And I hope each one of us, as we go through life, we're able to connect deeper with each other and find the love that we have for fellow human beings. And hopefully I get to meet each and every one of you. Uh, it is my heart desire. So hopefully, yeah, we get, maybe you'll have a once this becomes big, if it hasn't already, you'll have like a big lounge party, big cat
Exactly. Yeah,
lounge
Red Bud.
party where the friends come. Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on the Big Cat Lounge podcast. If we want to follow your journey, where can we look?
Just LinkedIn, my friend. LinkedIn. Or you can just hit me up. No worries. Ask Carl for my number. I'll be happy to learn from you and the friends. My journey is everyone else's journey. So
Thank you again for coming on the Big Cat Lounge show. Appreciate it.
thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yep. We are accepting applications if you think you have what it takes to be a big cat and be a guest on the show. Email us at bigcatlounge@gmail.com. Thank you for listening to the Big Cat Lounge podcast. Hope to see you soon.